Welcome back, everybody. So this chapter, or this section, is going to be about getting things into standard form. So we're working with moving around equations to make them look a certain way. And so standard form is a way of writing linear equations where x and y are on the same side. So it's some number, I'm just going to leave a box for some number, x, along with some number of y, equals some number. All right. And sometimes we use, like with the quadratic formula, A, B, and C to represent those numbers, but I just like leaving boxes so that it doesn't look like too many letters and get confusing. But the main idea here is that X and Y have to be on the same side in order to be in standard form. So right off the bat, I can throw out option C. That can't possibly be the answer because that's in that slope-intercept form. Technically speaking, I can actually throw out both A and B and just select D as the answer because that's the only one that is in standard form, right? X and Y are not on the same side here, and the number isn't over on the other side here. So D is actually the only one even in standard form. But just so you can actually see the practice, I'm going to show you what to do to make sure that is the right answer. So this is set up in that point slope form like we were looking at last section. What you want to do to get it in standard form is to distribute like before. So I'll have y minus 8 on the left equals 3x and plus 3. 3 times 1. Now I kind of need to do a little switcheroo here. Yeah, that's the technical term. I need to bring the x over to this side, and I need to bring this constant, the thing that doesn't have a number on it, or a letter on it, over to this side. So if I'm going to get negative 8 over here, I'll have to add 8 on both sides. Boy, oh boy, I need to get myself an iPad. Now I still have my y there. And I'm actually going to save a little bit of time here. I'm going to do both steps in one move. I'm going to bring this 3x over to the left. Even though I haven't simplified this yet, I'll get to that. I am going to go ahead and bring this 3x off the right-hand side and put it over here on this side. Now, it doesn't matter if you put it in front of or behind the y, as long as you keep a negative 3 along with the x, and this is like a plus 1 or a positive 1 here. So if I'm going to put it in front of the y, I would actually have negative 3x plus y. Because even though this is being subtracted, the y is positive. And whenever you're looking at something, the sign in front of it tells you that thing's like positive or negative value. This is a positive y. There's nothing indicating this y is negative, so it gets a plus sign there. But if I'd put the 3x after the y, then I'd write minus 3x because the 3 is still negative whether it's up here or back here. It doesn't matter. It would be just 1y or y minus 3x if I put it over there. So that's a little detail to kind of practice. Make sure that you pay attention to is the positives get plus signs, negatives obviously get minus signs. 8 and 3 gives me the 11, and that's how we end up with that answer. Negative 3x plus y equals 11. And again, just so that we're all clear, I could have also written the answer this way. Whoa, that's a 3. And that is the same thing. These are both equivalent statements, right? It's okay to write it either way. And sometimes they might flip that order around. Maybe sometimes it's y then x. Sometimes it's x and y. But they have to be on the same side and the numbers on the other side to be in standard form. So let's look at one more together. Oh no, okay. I thought I was going to have to erase all that. Whew. probably could have left that. Whatever. Because they're all in standard form. All right. So again, because it needs to be in standard form, I can already pick the answer. It's C. Please take your time to actually make sure that you understand how to move this stuff around, because the ones that I give you on the test day will have multiple options in standard form. So take the time to practice moving things around. And this is a good one to look at, because whenever you have fractions, this is just good idea in general. If you want to get rid of fractions because fractions suck, remember that this is just division. 4 divided by 5. So if I want to get rid of that divided, I can just multiply everything in the problem by the denominator. So if I multiply every piece by 5, that undoes that division. That cancels my division here. So I'll just have 4x instead of 4/5 x. But everything else gets 5 times as large. So I'll have 5y equals 4x, because multiplying by 5, the whole reason I did it was to cancel the division at the bottom of that fraction. That's, again, what fractions do. And then 2 times 5 is 10 over on the right-hand side. I'll save you the pain of watching me continue to write. To finish this, I would just have to subtract 4x over. So that's why you get negative 4x. Right? I subtract that 4x over, get negative 4x plus the 5y equals the 10. So please, again, make sure these aren't the best problems Khan's spitting out right now, but take the time to try to make sure you know how to move these things around. That's going to be the big part on the test. Is I'll write something like this and ask you which of the following is the same equation in standard form. They'll all be in standard form. Your options will on the test. They'll all be in standard form, and you'll have to pick out of the options. It won't be as simple as just which one of these is standard form. It's which one's the correct standard form. So don't be too lazy and try to skip through this. It's a big deal. Oh, here, this is a good example, right? They're all in standard form. So make sure you take the time to multiply it out, bring your x over, bring the constant over, get x and y on one side. This is a good question for like what you would expect on your test. So spend some time practicing these. Maybe do it a couple times if you get all those easy ones. Spend a little bit of time trying to find harder problems to make sure you know how to do this stuff.